Happy Wednesday. How is it going? So, as you guys join, let me know in comments where you're watching from and what you are drinking because inquiring minds want to know. Make sure that I am everywhere I'm supposed to be. There's always a bit of a lag. So, how's everybody doing this fine Wednesday evening? This is our last Wednesday of the month. Chapter 4 is a wrap. We are about to embark upon Chapter 5 of 2023. How's everybody's month? How's your month ending? Let me know in comments. Let me know how's it going. So always know that there's a bit of a lag here. I always want to make sure that I'm also able to hear me. Also, that. There we go. All right. So we're at the conclusion. So let me know, where are you guys watching from and what are you drinking today? So I'm two-fisted in it tonight. I've got my spirits and my water. And I came to give you guys the juice, I guess, right? The tea. I gave you, I've come here to give you the tea. Belize, hey, Arlette. I've been to Belize once. I am looking forward to meeting you the next time I go to Belize. I'm doing a cruise in September. I'm trying to think if we're stopping in Belize. I don't think so. Not this time. I've been once. Beautiful, beautiful country. Awesome. All right. So I see your comments. I see what's going on. And so listen, I'm really tired today. Today has been a long day. It's been a long week. It's only Wednesday, but I'm a little tired. Like, how's y'all's month going? How's it going? Hello, Janice. Nice to have you on. I know I am tired. I've been getting up like super early in the mornings, like 2 o'clock in the morning and starting my day. And I'm like, I go to bed, like, this is my bedtime. That's why I guess it's my bedtime. I've been getting up earlier, so that means I'm worn out. So like by around 7 o'clock, I'm exhausted. But I was like, I've got a lot to talk about because, we've actually had a pretty eventful month. Like, I was thinking that I can't believe that month is already over. We've done a lot this month. Do you guys feel like you've done a lot? Like, I feel like we showed up a lot this month. We talked about a lot of different things this month relative to the topic that we've been talking about. So I'm going to give you a quick recap just in case you may have missed any of the amazing things that we talked about. I did a poll at the end of last quarter. And in that poll, I asked like what your number one struggle was. And I guess I gave you guys several options. And one of the options in terms of the biggest struggle that you guys said that you had was finding and getting clients. So this whole month of April, we've been spending talking about ways for you to find new clients in your travel business. And so how many of you guys out there who are watching live, how many of you guys have caught all of the series? How many have you caught the last 3 weeks worth of content? Because we've talked about some really amazing things, and I'd love to get your feedback in terms of what you're implementing. So how many of you guys in comments, you can just reply a 1 if yes, you saw it and you're excited about it, or 0, you don't know what I'm talking about and you haven't seen it. So how many of you guys watched the referral program training that we did at the beginning of the month? How many of you all type a 1 if you did see it, type a 0 if you did not see it, type a 1 in the comments if you saw the referral training. And this training was all about how you create a referral system in your business. We talked about the Spark method and how you can implement a referral system inside of your travel business. So for those that have watched it, how are you guys doing in terms of creating a referral system inside of your travel business? Because listen, I'm going to end this month strong in terms of empowering you all to take action. If your number one struggle is a thing, then let's address the thing and let's resolve it, right? Let's create it, let's promote it, let's track it, right? So that should be like your 3-part mantra for pretty much anything that you do inside of your travel business. So for those that say yes, they watched it, type in comments like, how's it going with creating a referral process inside of your travel business? I'd love to hear your feedback, see how's it going, because a referral business is a business that you can use with previous clients, with partners, with like multiple times over. You can create special referral programs based on people that give you access to their people, right? So the beginning of the month, we talked about creating a client referral system. All right, so we're getting some ones, we're getting some zeros. The next week, we talked about creating, so that was really, so last week we were talking about sort of you, them, and us type of thing. I sort of like to think about like, what can I do about a thing? How can I leverage other people, and how can we together do things? And so I've sort of structured it the same kind of way. So the client referral is them, right? You want to utilize other people to get what you want, which are new clients, right? So you create a referral system to do that. The second week of the year of this month, we talked about that what you can do to get new clients, right? And the way to do that is through a sales funnel, is creating a sales funnel that attracts people, the kind of people that you want to get out of town, attracts them with content, a stranger offer, and does it in a way that they're going to raise their hand and say, hey, yes, I'm interested. Yes, I want to know you. Yes, I want that thing you've got because that thing is of interest to me, right? So I introduced you to the concept of a stranger offer and the concept of a sales funnel and broke it down to you in really simple terms. How many of you guys saw that training? So that was training number 2 for April. How many of you saw the sales funnel training in terms of what a sales funnel is? It's really a fancy word. Like I remember when I first learned about a sales funnel, I was like, what is that? Like, what is that all about? Right? So we broke it down into 3 parts and tried to make it super simple. How many of you all saw the sales funnel training that we did in April? So that would have been the second week of April that we did that. So this is you. This is what you can do in order to get and find new clients, right? The reality is that clients just don't, I mean, there's not a client tree. There is sort of a client tree, but there isn't a client tree that clients are just going to drop out of the air and they're going to find you without some work on your part. And that work on your part, when it comes to a sales funnel, is actually creating a reason for somebody to say, yes, I want to get to know you. That's simple as it gets in terms of what a sales funnel is. And so we were getting a lot of ones in terms of people seeing that. And so I'd love to get your feedback on how you guys are doing that. Have you guys come up with stranger offers? Have you come up with your own opt-in offer? Have you leveraged an existing offer that's available in terms of content? Really, the power of option number 2 that we talked about in terms of building a stranger offer is really understanding your audience. With the first option, the referral program, you don't really need to understand your audience. You just need to know people that know people, right? And tell them, listen, I'm going to make it attractive for you to refer people to me. Number 2 is really about you knowing who you want to help get out of town. If you know that person and you understand them, creating an offer that they can raise their hand to becomes so much easier. So working on it. All right, that's awesome. So this is the most powerful thing that you can create in your business, is an opt-in funnel that allows strangers to connect with you on autopilot. And so if this is not something that you have, certainly encourage you to take a look at that training. But creating a stranger offer and creating a funnel around that. I mean, 3 steps that we talked about in terms of how to do that was really good training. And then the third training that we did for the month was promotion. Is you got an offer now This is still a you activity. What can you do to get that thing, that offer, in front of as many people that you can, so that you know, right? Because I always say, don't create a thing without promoting a thing, and don't promote a thing without tracking the thing. So if you create the thing, you create the offer, you create the funnel, then it's your job, only your job, no one else's job, to promote it, to make sure that you're talking about it in every possible way you can think of, to ensure that it gets visible, that people become aware of it, and that they opt into it, so that you can then start to expand your reach, right? So how many of you guys saw that training? That was training number 3 in April. That was all about ways to promote your offer, and get it in front of the right people, right? So again, this is about you and the activity that you can do. So if you're posting on social media and you're not getting responses, you're feeling a little downtrodden because you can't figure out a way to get people to recognize you, then this is something that you can control. You can control the offer that you make. You can control making sure that you understand who that person is that you want to work with. You can control getting your offers in front of those people and creating a system of doing that, right? I like things that I control. Do you guys like things that you can control? Like, I like to be in control of as many things as possible. I can't control everything, but the things that I can control, I'm in charge of them, right? Like, I don't leave that up for somebody else to do and hope and pray that it's going to work. If I can control it and I can influence it, you better doggone Skippy, I'm going to do that, right? I own what I'm responsible for. And when it comes to your business, you're responsible for getting in front of the people that you want to get in front of. It's not their responsibility to find you. Now, it's your responsibility to create the breadcrumbs for which they can find you, right? But you can't assume that you build it and then magically people will come. You've got to create reasons for them to come. Does that make sense? So it's your job. Like, I remember when I first started coaching in online space, I used to say this, I haven't said it in a while, is like, your number one job is to market your business. That's it. Like that, like, if you think your job is to create social media posts that don't get clicks and that's not your job. Your job is to promote your business by hook or by crook, whatever that looks like, right? And I've given you some strategies on how to do that. But really, that's your job, right? You're like, no, my job is to build packages. No, you won't be building packages if you don't have packages to sell to somebody, right? So you can know how to build packages. You can spend all of your time learning that craft. But if you're not promoting, nobody's going to get it, right? So I mean, I could tell you story after story about, how I had to learn that the hard way, right? I love creating stuff. I love because it's a project and I'm a project person. I like the start and the end of the creation process, right? So I like creating stuff. I like starting stuff. I like helping people start stuff, right? But the idea of the start, which feels good, right? I was just designing a business card for one of my clients, and business cards, the reason why people love business cards is because it's a thing that we get to check off. We get to check it off and say, hey, I've created these beautiful business cards. I've created this wonderful website. I've done all this stuff, right? But you spent no time promoting that stuff. And that's your job. That's it. Like, I don't want you to get it twisted. Yes, it's your job to create amazing experiences. But again, if you know how to create amazing experiences and you don't have anybody to do it for, then you've got a skill that's not matched to anybody. So you've got to get good at promoting your stuff. And that's what we talked about last week, is how to promote and strategies around promoting. How many of you guys saw that training? Let me know in comments. 1, if you saw that training. 0, if you didn't catch that training. So that was really around the promoting of your thing, right? Promoting. And of course, I could have spent today talking about how to track it, but that's not as sexy as giving you another strategy in terms of how to get clients. So we talked about other people, like utilizing other people to get clients, right? A referral system. We talked about how you can work on getting clients and putting a system in place for you to get clients. Now, today, we're going to talk about how us, like using them and you together, can help you get clients. And we're going to talk about that through the usage of partners. How many of you guys have used partners, partnered with somebody, partnered with another agency, partnered with another business? How many of you guys, I'd like to know, that are watching live, how many of you guys have partnered with somebody to do something in your travel business or another business? Let me know in comments. 1, if you have, 0, if you have not. How many of you guys have done a partner? And while I'm waiting for you guys to give me your feedback, I'm going to give you an example of like my first introduction of doing a partnership when I first started my first business. So my first official business was a barbershop. My husband, that was my first small business. We opened up a barbershop in 2006, and I still to this day am just amazed that we did that, because I never, prior to 2006, ever thought of myself as an entrepreneur. But a friend of mine told me many, many years ago that once your mind is introduced to a new idea, it can never shrink pre the idea. So once you get introduced to something, like, you can't go back and be like, I didn't see it, I didn't hear it, see no evil, hear no evil. Like, it's already expanded, so you can never shrink it back. So once I got bit by the entrepreneurial bug, it was all over. So I remember we opened this barbershop in 2006, and I was like, and the barbershop happened to be right next door to the Boys and Girls Club. And so I was like, oh my God, all of those kids, like, I watched it for weeks. I watched the volume of children that came in and out of that Boys and Girls Club. We're African American, as you can tell, right? And so the barbershop that we had were in a predominantly white city, and there was no barbershop in the city. There was no Black barbershop in the city. And so we were the first Black barbershop in the city. There was a city close to us, but we were the first ethnic barbershop. So all of the minority people were leaving the city and going out elsewhere to get their haircut. So I remember looking at that Boys and Girls Club, and I was like, how am I going to get those clients into our barbershop? And so I was like, well, I'm going to have to partner with them. I'm going to have to partner with. So what I did is I walked in one day while we were doing the construction of the barbershop, and I introduced myself and said, we are getting ready to open up the barbershop next door, and I would love to do an event with you and with your business. So it took like a couple weeks for us to connect, but I found out who the director was, got it, did some research about the Boys and Girls Club. I didn't really know anything about the Boys and Girls Club, but did some research about the Boys and Girls Club, found her name. Her name was Deborah. Still remember her to this day. And introduced myself. And I didn't go in there with the, listen, I want your clients. Can I tell them about, here's some business cards. I didn't do that. I went in there with, I want to do something for you. I want to create an event for you and showcase your event. So we talked, and we ultimately came up with the idea of us doing a art show for her kids. So they did an art show. I mean, I helped organize the thing, did an art show. We showcased pieces in her, and that was my grand opening event. It was amazing. I felt great doing it. I'll still never forget. I bought one of those little girls' paintings, and it hung up in our barbershop. I think I bought 3 pieces, and we sold the art, and it went back into their center. And that is how I created the first partnership in my business, right? I went into it with an open mind. I had no idea what we would ultimately, but I was like, listen, I want to do an event that would showcase your business, right? And then we ultimately collaborated on doing the art show. And that was my launch event for the barbershop. Again, when it comes to partnerships, it's really about who can you partner with that's got your client base there, right? Because again, what's your job? It's to market. Marketing is not all about me, it's about your client, right? That's what marketing is. It's about your client, their needs, and how you show up as the person that can address them, right? So when it comes to travel, you're the person that can get them out of town better than they can get themselves out of town for whatever type of travel that you specialize in, whatever type of person that you specialize in, right? So when it comes to partnerships, we want to find partners that we can that have synergy to what it is that we do, and they have our client base, right? So fill in the blank. I don't care what kind of person you specialize in. There's a business that also specializes in that person. Who are they? Do you know who they are? And if for any other reason, you should know who they are just so you know what they're doing to address that particular market's needs. Does that make sense? Like, let me know. So while I'm talking, what I'd love for you guys to do is talk to me about who you helped get out of town, right? And let us brainstorm some ideas in terms of who you can partner with to help your client get out of town better with these partners. And we'll talk a little bit about that. So that's really what we're going to talk about today, is how you can create an us situation that will allow you to find clients that are of your target, right, in a unique and different way, right? There's so many different ways to skin a cat. I don't know why cats need to be skinned. I don't know why we got to throw birds. That I was just talking to a friend of mine earlier, and she's like, let's split the baby. It's like, I don't want to split the baby. I don't want to throw any birds, any stones at any birds. But here's the thing. We're going to skin this cat. We're going to do it together. All right. So before I continue, let me introduce myself. I've been going like 20 minutes and didn't even introduce myself. My name is Sunday Gardner. Hello. Every week I come to you talking all things launching and operating a successful and profitable travel business. And like no other thing, we're going to be talking about how to market your business in a way that will allow you to find and get clients. But we're going to do that through partners, right? So we're going to end the month strong, and we're going to talk about how strategic partnerships can help us do the thing that we're supposed to be doing, which is three things. I want to start with, what is those three things that we do when it comes to marketing? There's only really three goals that you should have when it comes to marketing. It's one, to increase your awareness, that people know who you are. The other thing is to get engagement or build relationships, right? That's the second thing. And then the third thing is for conversion. So that's to get sales, right? Either get sales or get something. You give something, you get something, right? That stands for ARC: attract, relate, convert. That's what the purpose of marketing is. You want to attract the right people that want to go out of town utilizing your services. You want to relate to them so they can get to know you better, relate to you, get to know you, like you, and trust. Because again, you're meeting people, you're working with people that frankly, you're a high ticket person to them, right? You aren't a cheap, inconsequential expense or investment to your clients. So we got to stop operating as if we're a low ticket type of thing. I mean, I did a training on this a couple months ago, is that we are a high dollar, high ticket investment that we want our clients, but we show up in a very low ticket way, right? We show up in the same way that McDonald's shows up in our life, right? We show up in the same way that somebody makes an impulse purchase. We don't give people the high ticket service that we want them to spend with them. So as such, there's some things that you need to be doing a little bit differently as it relates to that. So relationship building should be a thing that is always on your forefront. How are you building deeper relationships with your clients? And then conversion, right? So we all, oftentimes what happens is we start a business and we start with the sale instead of starting with the A and the R. We don't start with attracting. We don't have an attraction system. We don't have a way to attract people that we want to us. We don't have a screening system. We just try to attract everybody, and by virtue, we attract no one, right? Or we attract the wrong people. And then you don't spend any time really on relationship building, right? You hand out some business cards because it feels good. I got these really cute business cards. I've got this really sexy website, but you don't really do anything to develop deeper relationships with your clients, right? Or your prospective clients. which then is a recipe for people not knowing you. And if they don't know you, then why would they spend 3, 5,000, 10,000, whatever your number is? Why would they consistently spend money with you if they don't know you? You've given them no reason to get to know you, right? That's why it's so important to have some sort of relationship. So there's a lot of information right there. But really, the whole purpose of marketing is ARC. It's to attract, relate, and convert. That's what you want to do, right? And so why is it so important to have, like, what's the value that you get out of doing a partnership? Because it allows you to increase all three of those options, right? If you partner with somebody who is a complementary to your business, so somebody just gave me college and professional sports travel, right? So Catherine, right off the top of my back, complementary business is athletic wear, is my son, both of my sons are athletes, and in Frisco, where we come from, there was a local business that the school partnered with to sell, and they sold all athletic gear, and that business sold all the gym uniform for the high school that they were at, right? So college and professional travel. So all of those athletes are need gear. That immediately is the complementary business. They need gear. They are training somewhere, so they're training at gyms. They're training, like, so. What does your guy, I say your guy, gal, right? Because I'm certainly not sexist, right? Your person, what are they doing? What are they doing? They're training, and they need gear to do. They also need certain types of food. They need probably certain, there's medical doctors that work with them, right? So there's sports medicine. Like, I'm just thinking of my guys, right? That one of the parents was a podiatrist, and all of the athletes needed a podiatrist, right? So all of those are complementary businesses, right? All of those people have your ideal client. That's complementary, right? So how do you build a win-win situation for them? So complementary is really about who's got your client base, and how does your client base need that particular business, and then how can you build a partnership that allows you access to that business, right? Because again, you want to build awareness. You want more of your type of people knowing that you exist, right? You want to build a relationship with the vendor, the partner, and their client base, and then you ultimately want to sell to them, right? So a partnership allows you to do all three of those things. So that's the reason why a partnership is such a powerful thing to do. And so if it's not a part of your strategy, certainly not saying you got to jump out and start it today, but I want you to be thinking of it in the back of your mind. So when you go through moments of, because everybody goes through this sort of up and down cycle of, I'm really, really busy. We're right now just coming off a wave season. So if you sell cruises, you're coming off a wave season. We're starting into like pre-summer. So there's a lot of activity going on, right? But right before the end of summer, things start to die down. There's a cycle to every business, right? In the salon industry, that cycle is, our downtime was August. Like, that was the slowest month of the year. August was the slowest month of the year. It was so funny. It's the slowest and the busiest month of the year, right? The beginning of the August made the least amount of sales. Third week of August made the most amount of sales in the entire year, right? So there's ebbs and flows, right? What are the ebbs and flows to if someone just took that they're in the romantic couples getaway, right? If you do it right, there shouldn't be any ebbs and flows at all. But romantic, right? So probably wedding season and people and doing honeymoons is really high in the summertime, right? Lots of activity there. But if you're doing anniversaries, you're doing any sort of reason to celebrate. You've got Valentine's Day in January, in February, right? So there's all these reasons to celebrate, all these reasons to create partnerships during those cycle times. I just see so many opportunities for different types of partnerships, or vendors, or businesses that you could research to then determine what your partnerships could be. So really my point here is, the reason is because it increases all three of the reasons why you need to be marketing. It increases your attraction ability, Partnerships increase your ability to relate to the type of people that you want, and it increases your ability to sell based on having access to those clients. All right, so now what I want to do is I want to talk about some strategies, right? So now let's say you find a company, right? That local gear company that sells. It was like a local, because it wasn't a Dick's Sporting, it wasn't a big chain, right? Chains are not as easy to break into as like local businesses. So it was a local mom and pop. They had an athletic gear. They sold the local sports equipment. And they, like I said, they had a contract to sell the uniforms to, I don't know if they did the entire district, but my whole point is they did a partnership, right? They did a partnership with something that was complementary, and it was schools. Same thing for you. Is once you identify the partnership, what are ways that you can partner together? Let's talk about those ways that I've come up with here. So the first way is to co-host an event. So like that example that I gave you with when I opened up our barbershop, we co-hosted the art show. Like, you're thinking to yourself that it's got to be a travel related event. It doesn't have to be, because the travel that you offer can be a prize. It could be a giveaway. It could be a benefit for the clients that attend or the people that attend. It doesn't have to be the showcase. Does that make sense? Like that art show that we did, we weren't cutting hair. Like we ultimately cut some heads. Like, because people were like, well, are you cutting hair? I was like, I guess we are. But like, I didn't do the event to cut people's hair. I did the event because I wanted the kids and the parents at that event to like come and see our barbershop with their kids' paintings and stuff in it, right? So it was sort of diabolical, but it did what it was intended to do. I didn't overtly showcase the barbershop. So when you think about an event, don't think that it has to be an event that is focused on your travel business. If you do an event that's focused on their business and the travel is secondary, you still get a win out of that. You, as the travel agent, travel advisor, still gets a win out of that. Does that make sense? Like, so I don't want you to come up with it and think, oh, it's got to be where I'm just like, I'm going to bring all my brochures and it's an event and that's the kind of thing. No, you got to think about it from the perspective of the complementary business. How can you help that business showcase themselves, and your business is secondary, but you get access to their people, right? Because if you get access to their people and that person is recommending, you've got the secondary value of them giving you a referral. Like, does that make sense? Because their people trust them, and by virtue of you affiliating with them, the people that are their audience that trust will extend to you. That's the major benefit to you. So I don't want you to think that I've got a co-host event, and when I pitch that business, I need to like have space so I can do my brochures. No. You got to come at it from a totally different way. This is some high level stuff that I want you guys to be thinking about. Like, I want you to put those business cards away, because what you want to do is you want to get the email list. You want to get access to the email list. You want them to blast your business name and your logo on the email that says that you're co-hosting the event. Does that make sense? Like, that's next level stuff that you want to be doing. Let me know in comments. Let me know if all of this is like clicking. Like, are you guys getting like the potential here? If you co-host an event, that's not travel focused. That's the partner focused, right? That's powerful, because then you've got people are like, oh yeah, I get to talk about me, right? Because that's what people want to do. They want opportunities to talk about themselves. That's what everybody wants. So when you come at marketing from that perspective, you come at a partnership from that perspective, if you can get access to a client base that is your target audience, and all you have to do is host an event, and then your logo, your name, your stranger offer gets into their inbox by virtue of that partnership, that's a win-win for you. Like, that's a powerful win-win. Okay. Number 2 way to do this is to cross promote. People are always looking for material and ways for their name to get in front of your audience. So if you have an email list, if you have a social media following, right, and you partner with someone, there's value in it. That's the very reason why YouTube pays YouTube creators, small dividends, but they do if they have a large audience, right? Because that audience is valuable. People want access to people's audiences, just like you want access to theirs. If you have one that's growing, and I'm saying it doesn't have to be like multiple, it doesn't have to be 10,000 people. Like you're like, my audience is small. If you got 100 people, that's 100 extra people that vendor didn't have access to, right? So if you're growing your audience and you're spending the money and the time to grow your audience, that audience is valuable to your complementary business as well as theirs is to you. Does that make sense? So cross promoting. I'll tell you a couple of things that I've done in the past is I have partnered. I remember I was in a class and I met some other online entrepreneurs, and I posted in this. I was like 2018. I haven't done it in a while, but I hosted a symposium of some sort where it was like, I love like interviewing people and talking to people. That's just like my thing. And so it was a showcase for travel advisors to hear what it's like starting a business, right? To sort of break the myth. So I brought in other entrepreneurs just to talk about like mythbusters. Like, I think there's this like unrealistic expectation of what it's like to start a business. Like you think, and I'm not trying to shame anybody into anything, but the reality is that you sign up with a company, your host agency, and they tell you all you got to do is do ABC and you're going to be able to sell the wares. And you've not done anything when it comes to marketing, setting up the business. You haven't done anything really. And you think, oh, I'm going to be able to make 6 figures or 5 figures or a couple of figures, right, with this business. And you haven't done anything to build the foundation. You've not done anything to really set yourself up as a business. There is nothing free about a business, right? A business takes effort. It takes work. It takes money. It takes time. And it just doesn't come naturally. So if you're in this business and you're not really serious about this business, anything that I train about isn't for you. Like you don't have to keep watching because it's not for you. What I'm going to tell you is those people that stick with what I have to say and do what I recommend, they're serious about their business, right? So partnerships is just another layer to that serious business that you're growing, right? So cross promoting. People want your audience just like you want their audience. So cross promoting. So this event that I did, so I did 2 things in what I did is I worked with other online entrepreneurs who had products that advisors would be interesting. I think I talked to somebody who was a web designer. One of the people was an accountant, right? So they all had services that new business owners, travel owners did. And we hosted a symposium of sorts, right, to talk about that. I can't remember what I called it, but it was fun organizing that and putting it together. But we cross-promoted. So we cross-promoted that event to their audience inside of my audience. And it was a great success, right? It gave people the opportunity to see other entrepreneurs, other agents, see other entrepreneurs, and what it takes to actually start a business inside of the travel industry and outside of the travel industry, right? Same thing for you. So let's say you've got let's see, what do we got? Romantic couples, right? So, wedding is the thing that is popping into my head right now because I remember when I was in the transportation. I've had many businesses. I remember I was in the transportation, so I partnered with David's Bridal, and like I sat at David's Bridal. I met like all the clients, and we just talked about ground transportation and what it could do. And so what we were able to do is we cross-promoted David's Bridal. David's Bridal cross-promoted us. So this was even before like social media was big. But what you're really effectively doing is like you can create co-branded posts, right? So you could create a, let's say you're doing it with a company that's athletic gear. You can have a post that has their logo, your logo, and you've created maybe a special discount off of their products, and they're going to do something for you, right? That's the whole idea, is that you can cross promote on their platform and on your platform each other's stuff, right? That's a great relationship to create. A partnership with, is like, even if it's not like a physical brick and mortar and you're dealing with an online business, cross promotion is really a great. People who have businesses want the opportunity to get in front of more clients, right? So your clients potentially are their clients as well, because that's where the synergy is. And based on that, you can then cross promote. So let me know if you guys don't understand what cross promote is. Exclusive discounts. I love exclusive discounts. So I have a partnership. I'm an affiliate of pretty much, if I love a product, I'm an affiliate of it, because there's an opportunity for me to make revenue, and then for me to talk about something that I'm already using and that I love, right? So it's a natural win-win. Like, I love it. I like using it. I'm using it. I probably have a whole system around using it. So why not get into partnership with them and get a referral system in place? You can do the same thing. So it's just like your clients. There's a referral program for your clients. You can have a referral program for your suppliers, your partners, your, right, fill in the blank relationships that you get with other businesses. It's a perfect win-win as well. In businesses, so depending on the type of business, that may be referred to as a referral situation that you can create up, or an affiliate situation. I've got them all over. Like, I mean, if there's a piece of software that I'm using, I can guarantee you I'm an affiliate of it. And if they don't have an affiliate of it, I don't even think, I think there's a couple of applications that I do feel super strong about, and they don't have an affiliate program. But that's the thing that I'm doing. So what I want to tell you is, I don't feel like I'm unethical in that, because I don't refer because of the money. I only refer products that I personally use and that I understand and that I like and that I have a use case for. So there's not any sort of unethicalness in the way that I operate. Same thing with you. So don't get into partnership with people that you don't like, that you don't like. Like, if you, that's why it's important to build a relationship with your partner. Like, you don't like them, you don't like their product, you don't like what they stand for, you don't like the way they do business, then that's not a partnership. Like, get away, like run away. Like, if you meet somebody and you're like, I don't like the way they talk, then don't do a partnership with them. That's a recipe for disaster. So everything that I refer out from a software, if it doesn't matter, I do not refer anything that I haven't personally used, period. Right. And so, but there is some sort of monetary gain that you can achieve either in sales or in a referral program that you get. And there's no reason why you cannot create the same system for yourself when it comes to your travel business. So just like I said in the referral training program, is create a system that's win-win for you both, right? So if you're asking your clients to give you leads, right? Refer your travel business to them. Same thing that you would do when you're doing a business referral program. Make it valuable to the business, right? The business that you're partnering, if you're going to do a referral. If they send you leads, what are they going to get out of it? What's in it for them? Make it attractive. Make it a no-brainer that they would say, yes, I want to be a part of that referral program, right? That's number 4. And then number 5, I think I skipped number 3. That was number 4. Number 3 was exclusive discounts. And so I sort of blended it together. So what I mean by exclusive discounts is, like, so we have a partnership with our legal agreement. So in the travel business, you guys need terms and conditions. So we've partnered with Travel Industry Solutions. And so we have an exclusive discount for our clients. So for my clients who purchase legal agreements, terms and conditions through that company, that you all get, right? That's an exclusive discount that I can offer you all because of my partnership with them, right? Does that make sense? So that's the same thing that you can do. I extend that discount to my community of travel agents because you need that product. That's a product you need. There's literally no one in the space that's doing it the way that Travel Industry Solutions is doing it. So to be able to offer that discount, I love the ability to do that, right? Same thing for you all, right? I like to be able to do that with every partnership. Like I know one of the partners that I'm with in terms of software, there's a software that I use that allows you to take the questions from your Facebook group and then integrates with your email marketing tool. I got it's like a 50% discount off of that. Like the tool is like $250. And like all of my clients get it for like $80, right? That's the kind of partnership. Like, so it ultimately is a win-win for your clients, ultimately, if you structure it correct, right? And believe it or not, all you have to do is ask. Like, you just got to ask the business, right? Because normally it doesn't cost them anything to create a special discount for them getting access to clients that they normally wouldn't get access to, right? Does that make sense? Like, so there's value in that. So just ask for what you want. If you want a discount to extend to your clients for their services, ask for it. What's the worst that could happen? They say no. That's it. That's like the worst that can happen is that they say no. So ask for what you want. Like I'm a big proponent. If you want to ask for it, that's the only way you're going to get it is to ask for it. So exclusive discounts and specials that you can get. So partner with and those that say no, that doesn't mean that the door is closed, right? It's all negotiation, right? So when you think about where you want your travel business to go, think about the synergies with dealing with a partner or a business that has your client base that's aligned, in terms of, again, ethics, customer service, all the values that are important to you. As long as they're aligned there, right? There's so much potential and things that two great minds come together. I'm going to tell you, every single time I talk to a business partner, and I'm not talking like the traditional travel business partner, but I'm talking about another business that doesn't do what I do, but has a complementary product or service that my client base, it sparks. Like there's so many sparks that fly, right? Because we all are passionate about our thing, right? I'm passionate about coaching. I'm passionate about training. I'm passionate about my client base, right? Equally so is the person who's passionate about their product and service, right? So when you put those two minds together, you guys are bound to create some amazing thing that you wouldn't have thought of on your own. So there's so much power in you just getting out of your comfort zone and extending yourself. Now, don't get me wrong. It's like any relationship, you're going to get people who are going to say no, thanks, but no thanks. You're going to get people just like you are with clients, right? It doesn't mean that you shouldn't extend yourself out to find out, because there's going to be somebody who's going to be like maybe in the same space that you are in terms of growing their list and growing their exposure. They're in a startup mode as well, and they're going to be open and apt to that. So that's number 3 backwards. So I already did number 4, which is a referral program. And then number 5, I sort of alluded to this, but literally when those great minds come together, there's an opportunity for a new package or a new service or product that you can create as a result of those two minds coming together and talking through the idea. When you come to people, when you approach people from a how can I help you mentality, it opens up the doors for you. So if you're not approaching people, and I'm talking about the business that you approach, if you approach people, and this is leads too, this is all people, really, any person, if you approach them from the perspective of how can I help you be more amazing at what you do, right? It just melts away all the resistance that people have. Like, what do you like? Where are you coming from, right? And I don't mean to be disingenuous about that. I mean, genuinely come from a spirit of service and help. Doors will open, ideas will open, things will open that you would not have ever thought of because you come from that spirit. So I am a big energy person. I'm not a woo-woo person, but I do believe you get what you put out, right? So if you put out positive energy, you're going to get that positive energy. So if you find a complementary business, you do the research on that business, and you really like what the product and service, and you really want to get to know them, start from that perspective. Don't start with like, I'm going to get, you're using the George Burns, like, here, I'm gonna make millions of dollars off of that, right? You start from service. Like, how can you guys create something that's going to be a win-win for you both? They've got your market, they've got your thing, they've got, you like their products and services. That's a win for you. You get to leverage them. I am almost positive you can create a service or a product out of it. So those are my strategies. Before I tell you about what the action item is, let me know, what do you guys think about that? Let me see what the comments are saying. Is this similar to what did you say here? My thing is in the way. Can't read. Yeah, this is sort of similar. You know, yes and no. Like, bridal shows have your clients, they have brides. Let me rephrase that. They have your brides, but bridal shows have a tendency to attract heavy do-it-yourself people who really aren't interested in the services. They're really interested in like what they can get for free, like the trinkets that they get. I just don't like. And so this is my experience with bridal shows, right? Not to say that all bridal shows are like that, but like the big one, because in Texas there was bridal shows that happened twice a year. And so when I had a transfer, when I was working with one of my best friends owns a limousine company, and so when I was working with him, and he would go to bridal shows, like they were a royal monumental waste of time, in my opinion, because I find that. I feel that same because I've gone to hair shows. I've gone to a lot of vendor type of shows where you buy a booth and there's thousands and thousands of people, and you spend the money on the booth, and sometimes those booths can be super expensive, and then you don't really get any leads. You don't really get anything, and you spent, a day or 2 days there. And I think that's because it's just because there's volume there doesn't mean it's volume of your client. Does that make sense? Because again, everybody's not your client. So I'm not attracted by going to a show that has 10,000 people in attendance unless those 10,000 people are going to get a piece of content that's directly from me. Like, do I have access to the email list that those 10,000 people are there? Just because they all show up to the event doesn't mean that that's going to translate into growing my email list or conversions. And I'm not even talking money conversions, just growing my email list. If I go to an event like that, my objective is to get emails that I can then do. If there isn't a way for me to do that in a meaningful way, then I don't think that those events are valuable to me. Bridal shows go in that category because I don't want a bunch of people on the list that are really not interested in destination weddings or getting away. Does that make sense? Like that would be the thing that I would say for that. All right, so it looks like somebody said that the ideas are forming and as I speak, so that's awesome. You love this. So let's talk about what the action item is for you all today. So again, this is high level, next level stuff for you all. This is not for the weak at heart. This is not for people who are like, listen, I just wanted a couple of tips. And this is a program, right? This is a program that you create for this partner because this is you showcasing your expertise in your field, right, in the area of your specialty, and bringing that expertise to another business and pitching them, right? That's really what this is about. And so really the action item for you all tonight, if you decide to accept the challenge and move into the partnership as a way for you to do this, let me tell you this too. Listen, just by virtue of you knowing and you having this, right, your idea, your brain is now stretched on this idea. This doesn't even have to be something that you do today. This could be something that you can put on your list of things that you want to move towards, right? So when I talk about you're in a lull and you're like, things have died down, right? I've got a funnel in place. I've got my referral business. I've got my referral system in place. What's the next strategy that I can employ to start getting new access to people? This would be the number 3. So I wouldn't prioritize partners as your number 1 unless that's the type of person you are. If you like working with businesses and you don't necessarily like working with people directly and you want to work with businesses, partnership is the way to go. So this is another sort of feather in your cap type of thing to say, hey, another strategy for me to add to the things that I can do to get more business in my business ultimately, right? I know that you're a vendor, like you actually are a tour operator. This is a perfect thing for you to consider, right? In terms of partnering with people that have your business, and you're really focused on like tour operators. But I would encourage you to look outside of suppliers and look at where are your people at, where are your travel agents at, where are they at, and how can you partner with them to get in front of those travel agents? That's really what I would do. All right, so here's your action item. 4 steps that you need to do is you need to research. Like that's the name of the game. You need to find out who your complementary businesses are. If you're drawing a blank and you're like, I don't know who my complementary businesses are, research. That's your number 1 thing, is you've got to start to research. Now, what do you think I'm going to tell you? How can technology help you with that? ChatGPT can help you with that, right? Is complementary businesses. You put in the input what your business is and ask it, what are some complementary business ideas, businesses that I can partner with for extending my reach with my client? That would be a great thing for you to do. But research is going to be key, because it's not only going to be, ChatGPT is going to help you with the list of vendors potentially, right? Knowing that list of vendors is only through 2021. You got a whole post-COVID environment, 2022. It's funny. It's not funny, but it's a true statement. Like I was looking for locally, I was looking for a landscaper, I think 6 months ago, sometime last summer. And so I guess almost a year ago, we were looking for a landscaper. So I went on, I Googled it, and all these landscapers came up and they were all out of business. Like they were all, it's not funny, but literally they were all out of business. So what you got to know is ChatGPT is data up to 2021. There's probably a whole new slew of businesses that potentially are available to you in 2022 and 2023. So you've got about 18 months worth of newness that Google will help you identify. But at least in terms of types of businesses, you can use ChatGPT to help you identify new businesses. So research is going to be your key. Don't forget local. Like local businesses are viable options for you when you're thinking about partnerships. And the things that you really want to be thinking about when it comes to these partnerships, either online businesses or businesses that have brick and mortar, is sort of a forgotten business. I think we are online businesses and we are home-based businesses, and we forget about the shopkeeper that goes in every day, turns the key, and opens up their business. Having had a brick and mortar business, I will tell you, there is a huge disconnect between the online space and the physical brick and mortar space, particularly small business owners. So they need a way to promote their business better than the yellow pages. And if they don't have an online presence and you understand online marketing, you have a Facebook business page, you may be introducing them to concepts that they may not be as equipped to understand. So then you give them access to a way that they don't normally have it to. So I want you to really think about, like, if there is a restaurant that you frequent, right? Creating a sweepstakes sort of thing where people can do, like, I've got so many ideas in terms of how you can interact with local businesses. But my point is, don't forget about the local business. It doesn't always have to be an online business. You go to a business You interact with businesses every single day. Is your client also interacting with that same business, and is that an opportunity for you? So research is number one. You want to identify where your people are. So if you have a person that you want to get out of town, what do they do? Where are they? And what do they do in their everyday life? That's what you want to find out. What is your person doing every single day? And if you don't know, that's the research that you've got to find so that you can then find the businesses that are servicing them. Make sense? All right. Then you got to just identify who the point person is. So in my example with the Boys and Girls Club, right? The point person was the director of the Boys and Girls Club. I needed to talk to Deborah, right? So I went in for weeks trying to get Deborah. Like I found her name, but she was never in the center. So for weeks I had to like hunt Deborah down. Was it worth it? Every bit worth it, right? Same thing on the supplier side. Sometimes it takes us weeks to get in contact with our BDM, right? May take you some time, right? Put it on a cycle. Put a reminder to yourself. Listen, I've reached out to so-and-so. I've called them up. I've gone to the business. I've talked to them, right? Find out who the person in charge is. You don't want, sometimes you got to be nice to the admin, right? Bring them coffee, bring them donuts, whatever. But if that person is the person that you need to talk to, then you need to make an effort to get in contact with them personally. Like you need to get their face on a Zoom, on the phone, and have the conversation, right? Schedule an appointment, because this is not something that you want to do via email, right? You could send an email to start the conversation, but you want to actually meet the person and have a conversation. Because literally, Deborah tried to shake me. She tried to shake me for weeks. I was like, Deborah, got to meet with you. She was like, I'll be here. And like, she stood me up like 2 or 3 times. I'm telling you, it was an amazing event when she, like, I buckled her down. Like once I got her down, that art show was amazing, and it was an amazing way to launch the travel business, the not the travel business, the our barbershop, because then I had so I can tell you a little bit more about the story. So we did the art show, and then I contacted the local paper and I wrote an article. We co-authored the article, and then I had the paper publish the art show about, and then we had the plug in our barbershop. Like, I mean, it was just great PR. So find the POC is number 2. Number 3 is schedule a get to know session. Like schedule a session with the POC. It's not an email. Like you email to introduce, get on their calendar, start the conversation, but you want to meet the person face to face. It's worth the coffee date. It's worth the lunch date that you pay for. It's all worth it, right? So if you've done the research and this is the person, if you can get them on your calendar and you can get a face-to-face, it's worth the investment of your time and money to actually have the conversation in person, okay? And then number 4 is really pitching the proposal to them, right? Think through, what is it that you want to pitch to them? What's the idea? How is this a win-win for you and them both in terms of that? So don't go in there ill prepared. Like, don't go in there winging it. Don't go in there being like, well, I just wanted to meet you. No, like, this is the time to put your A game on, right? This is the time for you to really show up as the expert. Like, you know your target audience, you know the travel business, you know how you can position. This is a win-win for you both. Then that's where you do the pitch. And again, from a place of service, like how you can help them be better at what they do, right? For access to their information, right? And sometimes you just got to ask them as well. Like if you've done the research, you know them, you got to ask, like, what's in, like, what do they need to have in place for it to be a win-win? Make sense? All right. So I'm going to pause and see how's it going. Gosh, I talked a lot. Like I'm 4 minutes over. Sorry about that. What'd you guys think? How do you guys feel? All right, so here's a question. Let's put this on. How can I partner with a local bridal related business if I have no local clients to share with them? Only out of state clients. I am almost positive that your local bridal ships. Your local bridal company ships. And what you also got to find out is do they do like some bridal, like right across the street from our barber shop was this like So our barbershop was in downtown, was in the downtown area, downtown Frisco. And I'll never forget. So the barbershop's here, and then like right across the way was this a brilliant, like beautiful shop she had opened, and she rented wedding dresses. Um, and I was like, what an amazing idea. Because you just think, oh, I'm going to buy a wedding dress. Well, if she rents wedding dresses, like find out, I mean, like you got to find out about the local bridal shop, but that's an idea. Is if she rents wedding dresses, how can, like you, and do you do do you do wedding destinations? Like, is that your specialty, Pamela? I know we've met, but I don't remember. Is that your specialty? Right? So do you do wedding destinations? Like, how can she transport the wedding dress? If somebody sees a wedding dress, can she get the wedding dress? Like, there is synergy there. If you are in the wedding space and you've got a local and you deal with online clients, right? Everybody is online. Like, she is some way shipping, can get, has access to dresses. I remember when my husband and I were going through our uh, we were going to do a vow renewal, and I'm online looking at wedding dresses, right? And I'm like looking hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours upon hours looking at wedding dresses. And every place I looked at shipped. Like, everybody, like, is that local person? Is she on Instagram, right? How is she promoting her? How is she promoting her stuff locally? Like, nobody can, like a business, like a local business. If you're in a small town, somehow they got to stay in business. Somehow they got to get exposure. Like, so I definitely think that there is a way that you can do that. All right, let me know, Pamela, what you think about that. What if the client and complementary business are internationally located? I don't know what you mean by that. What do you mean by that? Like, I know you're in Belize, but what if the client and complementary business are? What does that mean? I don't. What's the question there? I don't understand that question. Um, uh, yes. So yes, I know that you're a DMC, but what's the question that you're asking? I don't understand that question. Okay, so I mean, you can keep chatting on in this thread, and then I'll reply here. But here's the what I want you guys to do is I really want you to think outside of the box. Like, think when it comes to marketing, and your job is to try and get your business in front of as many of your ideal client as you possibly can. Your complementary business is wanting to do the same thing, right? So that's the reason why the partnership can form, is that you guys want access to the same thing. Each of you all, hopefully you're doing a good job of attracting your ideal client, they're doing a good job of attracting their ideal client. But if they're not, right, there's an opportunity for you guys to create a way to attract your ideal client together. That's really what the objective is how do you get access to each other's audience, and is there a win-win opportunity for you to do that? All right, listen, ladies and gentlemen, this is the end of the month, and so this is it. It's a wrap. We got 4 more days before the end of the month is over, and now we're getting ready to start with a new month. And so I would be remiss if I did not tell you what our topic for next month is. Are you guys ready and waiting for our next topic? So we concluded this month talking all about finding your client. We did so much. We did a content plan. We did a masterclass on content plan. We went over those. I talked about those we talked about 4 different specific areas and ways to get clients. Next month is Travel Advisor Month. Are you guys excited? Is anybody going to ASTA? I was supposed to go to ASTA, but I let time run out and I didn't finish doing my stuff. Anybody going to ASTA? I think it's next week, isn't it? It's in Puerto Rico. So I'm not going to ASTA this year, but I will definitely be going next year. So ASTA's next week. Their annual conference is in Puerto Rico next week. But Travel Advisor Day is also next week. I think it's next Wednesday, or I think it's the 2nd or 3rd. And then the May the 4th be with you is also my favorite day, is next week as well. So nobody's going to ASTA conference. So yeah, I will definitely be there next year. But what I will tell you is next month is technology month. Like I am like geeked. I just finished the plan. We're going to be talking about technology because I really like, how many of you guys feel like you're scared of technology or you don't like utilize it to its best? Or do you feel overwhelmed? Like how many of you guys right now listening feel overwhelmed by technology? Let me know in comments. Type in 1 if you feel overwhelmed by technology. I love technology and I feel a little overwhelmed by it. Like I feel a little bit overwhelmed by all the different choices that are available. And you know, I'm y'all's trainer, right? And so my whole goal is in in like when I work with travel advisors and launching their business is really to streamline the tech stack, really, is because this industry, unlike many other industries, there isn't a solution that covers travel agents in all the things that we do. Um, there just isn't a solution. There's all these little bitty solutions, right? There's like a solution for this, a solution for that, and a solution, and somebody is like solve this problem for travel advisors, and there isn't a solution that covers the majority of the operational work that needs to be done in the business. And unfortunately, that creates an environment of where lots of money has to be spent ultimately when you add all of that money up on all these different piecemeal things. So next month we're really going to dive into how to reduce all that noise and really create a set of solutions in your travel business that's really going to help you improve the way that you run your business, right? So that you're not nickeled and dimed to death. Because it literally, I really feel like that now. Like literally, I'm just seeing so much stuff pop up, particularly with this whole AI stuff. And it's all cool stuff. Like, don't get me wrong. I am like super excited by all the cool stuff that there is, but it's distracting. And really what you guys need to do is you need to market more. You need to get more, you need to get content in front of your ideal client, and you need to be able to run your operations effortlessly, right? So you can maximize your profits. So next month's going to be all about how to utilize technology to help you do that, and really how to streamline the stack so that you've got fewer products that do the maximum amount of stuff and really do all of that. So that's really what we're going to focus on next week. And so I'm going to post your thing, Pamela. You're a member of Opus. Is there a weekly mastermind class that you host on Tuesdays? If so, how do you access this? No, there is not a mastermind every Tuesday. There is one mastermind that you have access to. And so the training for next month is the third Tuesday of the month. It's going to be on the 16th, I think, is the third Tuesday of May. I'm gonna look at my calendar because I think I just set that up. Yeah, it's May 16th. I'll be sending out an email over the weekend. So for those who are Opus members, you will have free access to the mastermind that I'll be releasing, and it'll be we're going to be talking about technology. So that email, I just drafted it. It goes out on Sunday, so it'll tell you about the class. It'll tell you, it actually should already be available in your dashboard, because I just released it this morning. And so the actual live recording of it happens on the 16th. Pamela, hopefully that answers your question. Let me know if that does not. So that training is May 16th. It'll be at 6 p.m. Eastern. And you already have access, and it's available inside of your dashboard. It should have showed up in your dashboard this morning. So go ahead and check your dashboard. So if you're an Opus Gold member, it showed up in your dashboard this morning. I think it's as a preview. And so I'll open up, you'll get the live Zoom information, I think the week of, so that you can access it. And that's all you need to do. So we'll go over the whole training, usually about a 90-minute And if I'm verbose, it may be a little bit longer than that. So we'll go over exactly what you need to do from a technology perspective. So the topic and all of that will be in there. Let me know if that doesn't answer your question, Pamela. All right, listen, we've gone over. I haven't gone over in a long time. So, but this is we did sort of two things. We went over the topic, and then we also did a recap of the month, and it was an amazing month. Looking forward to May. Travel Advisor, I will be celebrating all of you all the entire month of May, and love, love, love May. It's one of my favorite months of the year because we really do. I really like to take the time out and highlight how amazing you guys are, and the wonderful things that you guys do in your businesses to make people's dreams come true. And so we get the whole month to celebrate what amazing people you guys are and joy that you bring to people's lives. So with that, have a wonderful evening and enjoy the rest of your month. End chapter 4 great. And I will see you next week as we embark upon chapter 5 of 2023. Have a great evening. Talk to you soon.